Hey guys, it's WolfMaiden, and today I'm going to be talking to you about what LARP is and how you do it. I know that I have a lot of friends that I'm trying to help jump into LARP, so I'm going to be sending this video to them, and these are the things that I would say to them. So first, LARP stands for live action roleplay, and we'll also start with a definition. LARP is a type of interactive role-playing game in which the participants portray characters through physical action, often in costume and with props. If you've ever played role-playing games like Skyrim, Dungeons & Dragons, The Witcher, Fallout, The Legend of Zelda, or even Stardew Valley, you know what it's like to create a character and then play in a fictional world. Don't worry if you haven't ever played an RPG or a tabletop RPG before, I still have an explanation for you. Now, with live action roleplay, it's all about live action. You move, dress, speak, and act like your character for the duration of the LARP event. So in LARP, your actions and the actions of others dictate what happens in the LARP. Every LARP is different. There are usually quests to undertake, storylines to follow, battles to fight, and some places have vendors, there's camping. It's a whole thing. The game elements of LARPs differ from LARP to LARP and system to system. So you might expect to run into skills that might give you some things as mundane as more attack damage or more health or armor, but some LARPs might also feature skills that you would not otherwise be able to do in real life, like magic. There might be healing or magic spells that do other things that you wouldn't be able to do without taking these skills in the game. A lot of LARPs will typically have combat in them, and in those, it's typical for there to be foam weapons like foam daggers or foam swords. Although not all LARPs use weapons, so it's important to look at the rules of the game that you're playing. A lot of things differ from person to person. Some people use accents, some people fight, some people don't. Some people roleplay a lot more, and other people are there more for the camaraderie and the dress up. It's really, you'll find a whole spectrum of people, and depending on the event, some events will be more strict about whether or not you should be in character and role-playing your character, or if you are allowed to sort of break character and talk about real life things like where you work or all that kind of stuff. So you can look in the rules of the LARP that you're going to go to and see whether or not it's the kind of LARP for you. But a lot of things come down to what the setting is, what the LARP dictates is and isn't possible, as well as what you're comfortable with. Just like video games, there's a lot of different genres of LARP out there. There is the most popular medieval and medieval fantasy. There is post-apocalyptic. There's sci-fi, there's horror. I've seen colonial ones, and I've seen pirate ones. There's also vampire. And there's so many genres out there that likely there's one that you will enjoy. Some LARPs cost a lot, some don't. Some require strict adherence to costuming rules, and some don't. Some games are one-time events, and they happen and they never come back. And others, the ones you more typically see, are continuous events. The storylines kind of go together. They might have one storyline and then another and another. Same world, same genre, same game. Events can differ from week-long, 5-day, 3-day, weekend. You can find LARPs of all different types almost everywhere. If there's anything that I said about LARP that interests you, I urge you to find a local game and play. It's really an experience of a lifetime, regardless of if you play in a big, high-budget game or you play a local one. You'll find friends and fun. There's camping, there's campfire songs, sometimes there's drinking. Sometimes you can camp in a cabin, you're playing, you're questing, you're going out and slaying monsters. It's so much fun, especially if you enjoy RPGs. Now, if you're wondering if every LARP is different, how do you figure out how to play? Basically, if you find a LARP near you, they will have rules posted, typically on their website or somewhere available for you to look at in PDF format, and you can read through them and see if this is the type of game for you. Some games will be light on things like skills. Some will be heavily based on what you personally can do. If you can fight that monster, then you can fight that monster. If you can't, then you can't. There are communities almost everywhere for LARP, and if there's not one local to you, you can always make your own game. Although that's easier said than done, if there's enough interest, a group of friends can definitely work together to make a game where they can all dress up, fight, and quest together. The tools I would say to use to look for games are definitely the LARP subreddit. I will have a link down below to that. They have links to specific locations and calendars for LARPs on the subreddit, but if you can't, for example, find a game there, they might also still be on Facebook. If you search your area and LARP, or a metropolitan area, you could easily find one in your state that you can go to locally. Once you identify a LARP, you can look at their rules and then determine whether or not you want to play. Most LARPs are usually more than happy to bring in newcomers, and you can definitely message them and ask questions if you need to. The LARP community is very welcoming, and while I can't speak for everybody, it's definitely worth your time to try. If you are still unsure about whether or not you want to go, take a buddy with you, try it out. A lot of LARPs have free first game so that you can see if you enjoy it. And if you don't have to go back. So there's not a whole lot of risk. I hope this explanation helped you. And if you still have questions about LARP, feel free to comment down below. I will be talking about a few events that I'm officially going to 3 events this year, one being Beakling and 2 others that I've yet to announce. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.
What is LARP? Baby, don't hurt me no more.